Agahon, coming to you live from Numancia, Aklan, in Western Visayas in the Philippines. I'm having my morning cup of coffee here in my coffee with Gino cup. My Copico Blanca. Copico Blanca is my choice of 3-in-1 coffee here in the Philippines. It's coffee, cream, and sugar. Powder form comes in this sachet. Very popular here in the Philippines. Almost every Filipino I know here has 3-in-1 coffee of their choice. Many varieties of 3-in-1 coffee here. There's actually, when I go to a grocery store here in Calibo, a whole aisle dedicated to like 3-in-1 coffee. Even Manny Pacquiao has his own coffee. Manny Pacquiao 3-in-1 coffee, just like a variety of 3-in-1 coffee here in the Philippines. Very inexpensive. That's why Filipinos love their 3-in-1 coffee. You can actually buy this at the sari-sari store. Anywhere you go in the Philippines, there's always a sari-sari store. And usually at the sari-sari store, you'll get these sachets for about 10 pesos. And they even provide like a hot water thermos. So you can actually have coffee like at any sari-sari store here in the Philippines. Very common here. Bill Meyer, good morning Bill. Good morning Bill. Magandang umaga. Vaughn, hey Gino. It's been a minute. The NBA on its way. So, hey, I understand, man. We have NBA League Pass. Dazzle and I were big NBA fans. So, NBA League Pass here in the Philippines, I think we pay, I want to say 499, 500 pesos, 500 pesos a month, $9 for all the games. We can watch all the games every day. Replays and everything, the NBA League Pass. So understand, and I'm a big Lakers fan, so every Laker game, I watch the Laker games. I watch the replay, I analyze play, so I know how big the and basketball, as you know, Vaughn, is like number one sport here in the Philippines. Filipinos love their basketball here. I used to play basketball, so that's why I still enjoy watching basketball. Charlie, all right. Good morning, Gino. Good morning, Charlie Latz, my good friend in Boston. Charlie Latz says, hello, Bill Meyer. All right, Vaughn. The wife is shopping at Burlington. Hey, I remember Burlington, the coat factory, the jackets and all that, man. I do not own a single coat, man. I haven't worn a coat in many years, man. I have a windbreaker. I got this one, my trusted windbreaker that I bought at Old Navy, man. I got this at Old Navy in 2010. I still have it, man. It's got a hoodie. It's got like a rain hood, like for when it starts raining. I love this thing, man. It survived, man. 15 years now I've owned this thing. And this is the only jacket that I really have. I have another one that Ruben got me like, I think it's Under Armour. It's the same thing, but with a hoodie also, but it's not one of those with the zippers. You just got to pull over, like a pullover. But no more jackets for me, man. I haven't worn a coat or a jacket in many years. Oh, hey, understand, man. You got to watch your son, man. Got to stay in the car. Dazzle, every time she goes to the ukay in Calibo, man, she's got a favorite ukay right beside Grand Gaisano. There's like 2 ukay places that she goes. She likes it because they have a lot of imported items from the United States. A lot of items from Goodwill, a lot of items. I'm sure people send them balikbayan box here to the Philippines from garage sales and all that. So that's where I get my shirts, my board shorts. Dazzle gets me those items at the ukay. And I don't buy. Man, I can't even tell you the last time I paid full price for anything, man, for a shirt, for shorts or anything. I just don't buy new stuff anymore, man. Good morning, Gino. All right, JP. Bill M, Bill Meyer, Vaughn, and Charlie. Morning, JP. JP done working. Oh, JP's been done working. I think it's been a month, right? JP sent me his. He went to his last day of work, and then I guess the next day JP came back, and he was already wearing his fishing shirt. He's got a lot of fish on the shirt that he was wearing, man. JP's retired. JP's retired, man. He's got, let me see, I'm trying to remember how many days. JP's got maybe 12 days, 12 days before I pick him up at the airport in Boracay Airport in Caticlan. Bill Meyer. Charlie, all right. Good morning. Wish you and your family the best. Wow, thank you, Tim. Thank you, Tim Arnett. The Philippines is cheaper. I know, man. You know, man, I've been saying that for a long time, Vaughn. You know, I get a kick out of people you know, you always have haters. I think, you know, no matter what, you're gonna have somebody that's not gonna like the Philippines, and I understand. You know, a lot of times, you know, I see that when a foreigner gets jilted by a Filipina, that kind of ruins the Philippines for them forever. You know, they're never gonna like the Philippines, no matter what, once they get jilted by a Filipina. But you know, I even get on Facebook groups, people arguing, oh, it's just it's just as expensive in the Philippines as it is in the United States. And I'm like, where are you living in the Philippines? You know, where you live? I mean, if you live in BGC, yeah, I can see that. I can see it being as expensive as it is in the US. But how many Filipinos live in BGC? You know, that's a small percentage of Filipinos here in the Philippines. I would say not even 1% of Filipinos can afford living in BGC. So most Filipinos live in the provinces. Most Filipinos are farmers. Most Filipinos are fishermen. Majority of the population of the Philippines is in the provinces. It just looks like the Philippines is all about Manila, right? Because of millions and millions of people trapped in the concrete jungle. But for me, you know, it's like, that is not the Philippines. The Philippines, if you want to enjoy retirement, if you want to enjoy the life in the Philippines, you gotta live in the provinces, man. The provinces are it. You know, it's like Panay Island, Negros Island, Cebu. You know, you got to live in the provinces. You know, I know it's not for everyone. I know some, you know, people like the city life, you know, Angeles City. I know they like the nightlife. They like that walking street, that red light district. Hey, nothing wrong with that. You know, there's something for everyone in the Philippines. But for me, if you want to truly enjoy your retirement here, relax, nice beaches, peaceful life, you know, morning walks where nobody bothers you, no crowds, no noise. Man, it's all about the province. Province for me here in the Philippines. Hey Tim, yo, Tim, my good friend in Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. All right, Tim, thank you again, brother. Thank you for always joining the live stream. I appreciate you, my brother. JP, Vaughn, I finished working in October. Oh man, 2 months now, right? No, I didn't even realize, JP, it's been going so fast. I thought maybe a month, man. It's just going fast. I finished working, been practicing frugal retirement and spending Christmas with family. That's all right, JP. You know, it's like, and that's the thing, JP. It's not like once you're retired here in the Philippines, it's not like you can't make a trip to visit your family in the US. You know, it's just that you're just committing to a new life. You know, you just want to explore. You know, in the fourth quarter of our life, man, you can't ask for anything better than having an adventure. Like for you, traveling thousands of miles to a new country, new environment. Man, I'm just so excited for you, JP. I know you're gonna have a great time in the Philippines, and We're gonna help you get there. We're gonna help you, man. Dazzle and I, Edgar's here, all our friends here, James and Karen. I'm sure everybody's gonna help you adjust to the life here in the Philippines. God bless you, JP. There are more important things in life, indeed. Yes, yes, indeed, man. I always tell people, Juan, at some point of your life, you gotta stop chasing money. I know that's hard to do. You know, I know there's people that I know that's already got a ton of money, a ton of stocks, that's, you know, finances, but they can't turn that off. They're always like, I gotta look at the stocks. I gotta look at, you know, man. At some point, you just gotta be content with what you got, man. And then if you can retire and not worry about money anymore. You don't got to be rich if you just got to be comfortable. You got a nice pension coming in. You know, it's like at some point you got to stop chasing money and start chasing life. Start enjoying it. You know, we all work all our lives, man. You know, to get to the point where you get to enjoy your life. You know, and when is that date? You know, you got to come up with that date, man. You got to come up with that date. You can't be like, man, it can't be all about chasing the money. It can't be all about chasing the money. Let me, it skipped again. It skipped on me here, man. I got a lot of comments. It went fast here, man. So I got to go back. I got to go back here. Maybe I'll use my laptop. Maybe it's easier for me to read on the laptop here. See if I can, oh, right there. Maybe, man, there's a lot of comments already, man. You guys are fast. I got to speed up here. Man. All right, frugal retirement. All right, there, right there. I found it. Good AM. Oh, hey, Fortune, the Master Yoda. Good morning to the Gino fam and the Panay Posse. All right. JP says, big milestone, got my car sold. Made arrangement with my former coworkers to pick up anything they want from my house Friday after work. Oh man, that's awesome. I remember that date, JP. For me, I drove my Mustang. I have a yellow Ford Mustang. I drove it to CarMax. And I said, take it, it's yours. And got my money from, I'm sure they kind of, you know, I didn't get the most money out of the Mustang, but I just got tired of people like test driving it and not buying it. So I just like took my car to CarMax at the time. I don't know if the CarMax is one of those companies, as long as you have your blue book, your title, you just drive your car there, you get the money. Same day you get your money. Lowell, kumusta? From Ori, kumusta? Lowell, kumusta? Mabuhay, and God bless, my brother. Fortune, good AM, Vaughn, Charlie, JP, hello, Fortune. Spurs versus Knicks. All right. I'll watch that. I'll watch that game. Spurs. I like the Spurs. I lived in San Antonio, Texas. When Tim Duncan got drafted, I was there when Tim Duncan, the Spurs drafted him. I was in San Antonio, 1995 to 1999. I actually saw their first championship back when they were playing at the Alamo Dome. You know, now they have a new, I haven't been to the new stadium, but back then they were playing at the Alamo Dome. The Alamo Dome was so cavernous, you know, that's why they had to build another stadium, because the Alamo Dome was built for football. And when you were watching basketball there was an echo. Man, there's an echo. That place was so big, man. Happy to play in the cup final. All right. Hello, Master Yoda, Fortune. You are blessed, JP. 13 days to go. I know, 13 days. Go Spurs, go. All right, go Spurs, go. I remember hearing that a lot. You know, like I said, I lived in San Antonio for 4 years, man. The Spurs fans are diehard fans. Because, you know, they don't have anything else in San Antonio back then anyway. I know they didn't really have a Major League Baseball team or a NFL football team. I know they had like a AAA, I think, or something like that. But the Spurs was it. That was their sports team in San Antonio. I show almost everyone I talk to Boracay beach pictures and tell them seafood is cheap. Yes, seafood is cheap, JP, but not in Boracay. You know, not in Boracay. Boracay is a tourist destination. So in Boracay, the restaurants, they charge you, a little pricey. Everything's a little pricey in Boracay. But if you get an Airbnb, like Dazzle and I, when we stayed in Boracay for a month, we get an Airbnb. We can shop at the local market where the locals shop in Boracay. Heck, we can actually go to the beach, and there's people on the beach, man. They're selling fish, squid, shrimp, you name it, and they're just selling it they're carrying a pail, like a plastic bucket or a cooler, and they have their their kilo, the scale, like, and you just buy it from the guy like walking on the beach selling it. So you can get cheap seafood in Boracay, but you're gonna have to cook it yourself. If you go in a restaurant, they have those places in Boracay called Paluto. The freshest seafood you'll see. Some of them are still moving. They're so fresh, and you just point at it and you just tell them, hey, I want this grilled, I want this steamed, I want this sweet and sour, I want this, whatever you want, you want it cooked, they'll cook it. And they call that paluto in Boracay. But seafood is cheap in the mainland. Now here in Numancia and Calibo, if you go to the public market, you're gonna love the prices of seafood here, because we got so many, from New Washington, Calibo, Numancia, Makato, Tangalan, Nabas. All these towns, JP, are all coastal towns. It's like half of Aklan province is coastal town. So half of Aklan province got all these beaches, all these fishermen. A lot of fishermen here in Aklan province. If you're a seafood guy, man, you're gonna love it here. Stevie, man, he can't get enough seafood, man. He told me he hasn't even eaten any meat but seafood since he's been here. He hasn't eaten pork, beef. He's all about seafood since he got here to the Philippines. Hare Krishna. All right, Hare Krishna. I don't know much about Hare Krishna. I have heard it. I know the monks. I know they say that, but I really don't know much about it. Spread the love. Hey, man, if it's spreading love, I'm all about spreading love. Not even 1/10. I know, right, Fortune? I'm like, that's why a lot of people, I kind of smile. I kind of like, you just kind of like smile at people because, foreigners come to the Philippines and their impression of the Philippines, they start talking on YouTube, they start posting stuff on the expats group on Facebook, and they're living in BGC. That is their only experience in the Philippines. They might take a flight to Boracay, or they might go to Palawan. But to me, that's not, that is not the Filipino experience, man. If you want to really live the Filipino life, become a Filipino, like Kulas, becoming Filipino, man, you gotta live with the locals, man. You gotta live with the locals in the provinces, man. You gotta go to places like Bohol. You gotta places like Aklan, Negros. You gotta go to these places. You can't be like living in BGC in a condominium and going to the mall and talking about talking about the Philippines. You can't base your idea of the Philippines on that just one experience. You got to travel out to the provinces. Chicken, all right, chicken. Many work there in BGC but not live there. Oh yeah, I'm sure, right? Fortune, the locals, like I'm sure local Filipino, man, it's expensive in BGC, I know I was even watching a YouTube video, man, how people in Makati, people in BGC that work there, man, they gotta live far from that area, right? Because they can't afford to like live there. It's expensive. So some of them travel from like Laguna, or Novaliches. Man, it take them 2-3 hours just to get to work every day on public transportation, man. That's like, man, that's gotta be like a challenge each day, man. Said hi. All right, Jump. Hey, Sir Fortune, GP, Calibo. All right, John Vasquez, the alien guy. Nice camera. All right. This is just an iPhone 10, man. I don't know about how nice it is, but it's a hand-me-down phone that I got from my friend in Hawaii. This was an old phone from his daughter. So, oh, let me just do the weather real quick because I always do the weather. I don't want to miss out. Even though I don't see Will anymore from Las Vegas, but I get the habit of doing the weather. No typhoon of any kind, no tropical depression, no storm in the Philippines, but it is cloudy today. It is cloudy. No rain here in Aklan province, but looks like it says here Bicol region, Leyte, northern Luzon, Metro Manila, the rest of the country, pretty much the same weather we've been having the past few days. Partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers and thunderstorms. So hopefully we're gonna start getting like a more better weather because for us here in Aklan province, Ati-Atihan, the Ati-Atihan festival right after Christmas and New Year's, Ati-Atihan, that's like a big event here in Aklan province, January 11th to January 18th. And usually we get good weather. I mean, it'll rain maybe 1 or 2 days during that time, but usually we get sunshine during the festival here. I have noticed on various blogs that the mall prices are similar to the US on electronic. The sample that I have seen limited. Thoughts? Lowell, for electronics, buy it in the US. If you plan on bringing like a laptop, at least minimum, right? Buy a new laptop, buy a new cell phone that's like what is that? Unlocked cell phone, ready to accept a SIM or an eSIM once you get here, because they are the brands that you have in the US, like your laptops, I would say like Apple, Dell, the ones that are made in the US, they're gonna be more expensive here in the Philippines, at least 20% more expensive. Now you get a lot of like cheap Chinese stuff here. There's like a ton of. I just bought Leanna a cell phone for Christmas. I bought her like a Oppo smartphone, and I paid $80 for her brand new Oppo phone. That's gonna be her phone to contact me to pick her up at school and all. That's gonna be her phone. So there are cheap electronics here, but most of them come from China. Some of the brands I've never even heard. It's like here, cell phones here, they got like Realme, I've never heard of these phones, but you can tell they're made of China because like when you pick up the phone, they're really light. They're really like, if you drop these phones, they're gonna die. They're not like an iPhone. They're not like an iPhone. But if you want nice electronics, buy that in the US. At least a laptop and at least a cell phone. The rest of the stuff, appliances and all that, I would not worry about bringing appliances here in the Philippines, like microwave or like like a air fryer, those kind of things, because your electricity in the US is 110. Here the electricity is 220. So if you plug those appliances that you buy in the US here accidentally in a socket here in the Philippines, it's never gonna work. It's gonna blow up, So better off just buying your appliances here, because there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of cheap stuff here. Like that microwave right there, I bought that microwave $50. That toaster, I think I paid maybe $25. That rice cooker, I think I paid $20. So there's a lot of stuff that you can buy here that inexpensive. I don't even get them fixed. Here in the Philippines, a lot of electronics here, when they blow up or they don't work anymore, they actually repair stuff here. I mean, there's not an piece of electronic device here that they don't try to fix. Even laptops, they'll try to fix. Even an electric fan, they'll eat TV, you name it, they'll try to fix it, because they got guys like at shopping area here in Calibo, they're like opening the whole TV, they're doing the soldering, replacing things in the TV. They can fix anything here. So if it does break, they're not certified. they're not like certified iPhone or a certified Sony, the authorized dealer. There's some guy that just like tinkers with stuff, but a lot of times they can fix stuff here. But electronics normally in the Philippines more expensive here than in the US. A lot of your American products are going to be more expensive here. SNR, even the items at SNR, like you know, and to me it's common sense to me. You know, it's like there's always been a duty tax here in the Philippines of all American goods. Like we're talking Hershey's chocolate, whatever American items are, there's always been a duty tax here. The Philippines always taxes it on top of the price. I think about 17%. I don't know if it's still 17%, but also the shipping from the US. So to me, it just makes sense that you know, American items will be more expensive here. That's why to me, if you're trying to replicate your life, and I know many people do that. I know many expats, they come here, many Americans, they want to like, they come here, and nothing wrong with it. You know, if you got the money, you know, go for it, you know. But if you want to save, if you're like me, like you're a budget retiree, you know, that is not the way to go. You know, it's like, you know, moving here and buying everything American made, you know, grocery, even grocery, buying all the American food that you're used to. That's gonna cost you here in the Philippines, you know. To me, when you move to another country, it's best to, like, if you move to Korea, when I would live in Korea, when I lived in Japan, I would eat what the Koreans eat. I would eat what the Japanese eat. To me, it just makes sense. You're moving to the Philippines. I would start eating the Filipino vegetables. You know, I'm not gonna be looking for like the American vegetables that I used to eat. You know, like spinach in the U.S. You know, the spinach here is different. It's called kangkong. Kangkong here, water spinach, really inexpensive. But you know, a lot of kangkong, you can't really just eat it like raw. You gotta cook it. You know, most of your dishes here in Filipino dishes, a lot of Filipino dishes, you gotta cook the vegetable. You know, so that's a change. You know, that's quite a change from living in the U.S. Because in the U.S., you know, we like our garden salad. We like raw vegetables. You know, here in the Philippines, they don't eat a lot of raw vegetables here. A lot of vegetable dishes here, they cook it. They cook it here. But if you adapt to like the Filipino ways, if you adapt to the vegetables, the fruits here, man, you can save a lot of money. But if you're looking for the same items that you're used to in the U.S., you're gonna pay money. They're here, but you're gonna pay money. You know, like if you want to eat steaks all the time, if you're a steak and potato guy, it's gonna cost you money here in the Philippines. It's not gonna be cheap. You know, the people that save here are the people that start eating more Filipino food than American food. GP, all right, John B, Lowell, it's the excise tax, Lowell. We don't produce electronics, all important, so we pay extra. All right, Fortune, thank you, Master Yoda. Thank you, Master Yoda. Diamond said hi, JP. Frugal adventure is my new way of life. Hey, maybe that's your channel, man. If you make a channel, JP Frugal Adventure, man, that sounds like a good channel name. Not at the same adventure level as James and Karen. Right? That's, you know, James is another level. And, you know, he's up there, high level adventure for James, man. Down a couple of notches. All right, hello, JP. Good AM. That makes sense, Fortune. Good morning, Gino. Kumusta na lahat? All right. David Boyd. Mabuti ako, kapatid. If you are running from problems, they will follow you. You might be the problem. And that you know, I was just thinking about that last night, man. I saw this post. I love, you know, when I go to these Facebook expat groups, I love reading the comments there, man. I love reading the comments because, like, and that's exactly what I was reading. And this one guy, he posted there. Oh, my dog wants to go out. Let me let my dog out. Who let the dogs out? There you go, Totori. You know, this guy, you know, he's like, he says on his comment, he's twice divorced, and he starts talking about he dated a Filipina when he got here. He's been here like 2 years. He dated a Filipina. He just lists, he went through like 3 Filipinas already in his 3 years, and he keeps complaining about each one on his post. Real long paragraphs he wrote on the post. And I was just thinking, well, you've been divorced twice. You've been through 3 Filipinas in the Philippines. Maybe it's not the Filipina. Maybe it's not the women. Maybe it's you, brother. I didn't comment now, because like I let them. I usually just read. I always smile, but that's the thing. If you're not happy in America, Canada, Australia, wherever you are, if you're not happy, don't think that the Philippines is the cure for your unhappiness. If you're unhappy at one place, you're gonna bring that unhappiness here. No matter how the beaches here, the women here, the lower cost of living. If you're not a happy person, you gotta cure that first before. The Philippines is not like what is that? The cure for mental health. It's like if you got mental health issues, man, you gotta see a therapist before you come here to the Philippines. The Philippines is not the cure for that. Gino, we are not getting tickets for game 3. The scalpers are I know, man. I saw that. That's why I gave you like the wow thing, man. That's horrible, man. To me, that doesn't. But I understand scalpers, and it's the same in the U.S. Scalpers are horrible. They should arrest these people because, it should be the students of the college, right? The actual students or the alumni. They should be getting tickets for those championship game, and not just like, wow, 10,000 now, 10,000 each for a ticket, man. That's not right. That's not right. But it is what it is. Scalpers, they got scalpers for tickets here in the Philippines. They got scalpers in the US too, man. I mean, they pay in the thousands of dollars fortune for like Super Bowl tickets and NBA championship game tickets. That doesn't get sold to the public. So somebody grabs that and starts making money off it. Same concept here in the Philippines. So we will just go, just walk lantern parade, free, right? I'd rather do the free, man. That's what we did last night. We went to the opening of lights in Calibo the previous night. Then last night was opening of lights here in Numancia. And I was disappointed, Fortune, last night because I did not see a single bibingka seller. I was so disappointed, man. I was like looking forward to eating my bibingka last time. I did have my French vanilla brewed coffee at 7-Eleven, but man, no bibingka. That's what I'm saying, man. That tradition, man, I don't understand it. They're like, nobody made the effort to like sell bibingka. I mean, and there was like our town plaza. There's thousands of people in there. I mean, they had fishball, they had balut, they have chicharon, peanuts. I mean, they have all kinds of other stuff, but no bibingka, man. I was so disappointed last night. Come on in, baby. Oh, Tutoy. I had to let my dog in. And Toto is pretty cool. She goes out there, does her business, and then barks one time at me, and then it's time to go in. But so disappointed. But I'll find bibingka. I'll find bibingka in Calibo. I know there's a place by Gwen Gaisano that I can get bibingka today. So that's my agenda for today. I gotta get bibingka, man. Since I missed out last night. I missed out on the bibingka, man. Merry Christmas, tickles and all right, tickles. I've never heard that before. Tickles and kisses. All right, Merry Christmas, my friend. Belu's Traveler. All right, Belu's Traveler. Hey, check out Belu's Traveler. He's gonna start doing more videos about rice farming in Leyte. He's like living out there in Leyte in the jungle. He calls it the jungle. It's like really hardcore farming, hardcore living in the jungle right there. Belu's Traveler is his YouTube channel. Great guy. He's my brother from another, man. He's like a cool dude, man. Good morning from Lake Coconut see, he's harvesting coconut. If you want to see harvesting coconut, man, that's like cool. They're climbing up trees with a machete or a bolo knife, and they're like chopping down the tree, coconuts from the trees, man. You need to video that, Belush. You need to show that to people, man. That's like fun things to show. Maggie has Christmas party with her UP Investment Club. 10 a.m., 12. Oh, that's going to be, man, it's all about Christmas parties right now, right? We have one here at Camellia. We have a Christmas party scheduled this week here at our clubhouse. While waiting for her, I will go to the University Hotel and try to reserve a table for get. Oh, okay, that's good though. So yeah, I'm sure you can still watch it with other UP fans. So that's to me that's the same vibe. I mean, watch it in a big screen with a lot of UP fans, so you guys can celebrate the game together. Good AM Blues. Aloha, aloha, brother, aloha, brother. My brother in the Derek in Hawaii. That's great, Blues. You can do many things with coconut. Oh no, man, coconut is like, man, that's like so many things, so many things. Belus is the chief farmer. The chief farmer, all right. David Boy, maligayang Pasko. Maligayang Pasko. Here in Aklan, Pasko, they call it Pascua. Pascua, yeah. Malipayon, I think it says Malipayon Pascua or some. It's different in their language, but that's how the dialect here in Aklan. Yo, JP, I missed it. What part of the U.S. are you living? Oh, okay. Tim, JP lives in Washington State. He lives in Washington State where it's a small town. He says small town living, not like the big part of Washington State. But I've been communicating with JP for a long time now, and he's finally making the leap of faith. The leap of faith. He's gonna be in Calibo, man. I'm gonna be picking up JP here at end of December. 13 days. I think 13 days. I'm gonna pick him up at the airport. I already secured an apartment for him for 30 days. He got a place for 30 days at La Casa Española. So if he likes it, he can extend. And it's a legit month-to-month. That's one thing I like about La Casa Española is no security deposit. It's like an Airbnb, basically. You pay the month, the 30 days. And then if you don't like it, check out, go to another place. So that 30 days, he can check out the apartment. And then while he's living there, he can look for another apartment in Calibo if he wants to. That's where Edgar lives now. Edgar's been living at La Casa Española since September. But I think he's thinking of moving out towards the end of January. He's looking for a bigger place now. Washington State, flying out of SeaTac. Belus, thank you, Fortune, my crew, not me. Your crew. Hey, man, that's what it's all about, Belus, man. Let the other people do the work, man. You're the boss now. You're the boss now. You're like the supervisor. There's plenty of workers here that can harvest the coconuts, man. I don't want you climbing up the coconut tree, Belus. 2,000 plus views. Second short vid. Amazing. Thanks for watching. All right. Hey, man. I'll be watching, Belus. When you come out with those videos, I'll be watching them. Anticipated Simbang Gabi started last night. Actual Simbang Gabi started this dawn, 4 a.m. All right, Virgin. JP, Stevie is my hero. Stevie is your, hey man, Stevie. The only thing with Stevie, man, he's like, I've been talking to Stevie. He has to go back, eventually to Washington State because he can't afford to retire. We're trying to do his finances. I'm trying to see if we got wiggle room here. He's already Social Security age, but unfortunately his income's not up there. To me, I think he can do it. He can do it with the monthly Social Security, but he thinks he can't. So we're still in negotiation. Stevie and I are still in negotiation because I think he can do it. I think he can give up the life in the U.S. But for now, he does plan on going back to the U.S. and work. Because in the U.S., JP, Stevie lives in a van, man. He doesn't even have a house, man. He lives in a van, And I guess more and more Americans, that's what they end up doing, with Social Security alone. He's living on Social Security. He has to live in a van, and he still has to work. Here in the Philippines, man, he's retired. He can just fish all day, man. So we'll see. I'll update you guys on Stevie. Belus, do you have a channel? Yes, Belus has a channel. Belus Traveler is his channel. Belus Traveler is Belus's channel. Jason, hey, Jason partner, all right. Dazzle, mom, and Leanna. Yeah, they're all sleeping. They're all sleeping. Last night, we went to opening of lights in Numancia, and then me, man, we didn't get home till like 10:30, but I was done, man. You know, I'm always to bed by 8. You know, so by 10, I'm like, I even had coffee last night just so I can stay awake at the opening of lights here in Numancia. But then when they get home, they're so hyped up. You know, they bought food, bread, balut. You know, they're eating here, watching TV. You know, so I went to bed, man. So I don't know how late they stayed up. Yo, Gino, how many times have you visited Andox in Numancia? I would say we at least have visited Andox maybe once a month. Once a month, we Andox is the new franchise. It's a chicken place. Like they have rotisserie chicken, rotisserie pork. They actually got sinigang, you know, pork sinigang, a soup dish, and fried chicken, spicy and regular. They opened, that's kind of like our first really legit franchise in Numancia that's like a fast food. But we go about once a month. Once a month. I like the rotisserie chicken. You know, I like the rotisserie chicken at Andox. Leanna, she loves the fried chicken. Leanna's all about the fried chicken. Me, I gave up on eating fried food, so I strictly stick to like eating grilled now. But it's nice. It's nice in there, man. It's a nice Andox, man. Good AM, Gino and crew. All right, Ted. All right, Ted and Behold. Rent is $1,000 in BGC and not even including utilities. 3-hour parking already costs. I know. If you live in BGC and you have a vehicle in your condo, you gotta pay money for your parking. Minimum 5,000 pesos a month, $100 minimum on parking for your car. So it's not cheap. Not cheap to live in BGC at all. Yes, David, Belus Traveler, Farm, Philippines. All right. Howdy to all my pana. Hey, there's Daniel, my brother in Jacksonville, Florida. Good AM, Ted. Fortune. Good AM, Jason. Belus rice field short is over 2K views. I know, man. That's awesome. Congrats there, Belus. Derek, very rainy yesterday and today on Oahu, in Hawaii, in Honolulu. Today it looks cloudy outside. It might rain, but you saw earlier the sun peeked a little bit. It hit my face, but now it's cloudy. Looks like it's gonna rain here. The fireworks show at Pastrana was very long. Mayor, there you go, Fortune. And that's why I was like, I said that before. I know that the fireworks show at Pastrana Park every year, Fortune, it's like the best fireworks here in Aklan province. That's why I filmed the whole thing, and I didn't even monetize it, the video, because it included the music. That wasn't my music, man. That music was the show. It's like that Disney music, that part of the fireworks. So I can upload a video like that on YouTube as long as I don't monetize it. You shouldn't see any commercials on it. That's why that video, very few of my videos has music because of copyright, but that video I didn't monetize it. So you saw the whole thing, the whole fireworks show, right? I mean, like, that's a lot of money, like Fortune was saying, because the fireworks show, that's paid by the mayor. But our mayor, he's a younger guy. I don't think he's even like 40 years old yet. I think he's maybe 40. I'm pretty sure he's like younger than that. And check it out, Fortune. He's a Colegio de San Juan de Letran. All right, man. He's Dugong Arriba, man. He's one of he graduated college from my school in Metro Manila, man. Letran College. But he has done a lot of things, a lot of good here in Calibo. He's young, so he's got a lot of new young ideas, good ideas. A lot of times, you know how it is, Fortune. The older politicians, it seemed like they don't want to do anything fresh. They just kind of go with what's already established. They don't have new ideas. Yeah. When you get a new mayor, a young mayor, they got new ideas. They're promoting Calibo. He's been good since he's become mayor of Calibo. He's done a lot of good things for Calibo. I have definitely seen a lot of improvement in Calibo. Especially one thing I noticed, there was a problem before in Calibo regarding trash, regarding garbage, but he has cleaned up the streets of Calibo. That's one thing really nice that I like that he's done. He's put lights. He even put those lights on the road. They're like green or blue, like they're like reflectorized light on the road, which it's nice because when I'm driving at night, I can see the division, the lines on the streets in Calibo. But things like that, he's done a lot of good things for the town of Calibo. JP, straight shot to Manila. I think JP's gonna land in Cebu, and I think JP's flying from Seattle to like Korea, Incheon, Korea, Incheon to Cebu, and then from Cebu to Boracay. Dear Lord, less rain, less heat, more love. Amen. Amen, brother. Amen. Right? We don't need more, anything in this world but love, man. The hate and all that, the divisionness, man. We can do without that. Partly cloudy over Cebu today. Today high, Jacksonville, Florida was 10 degrees Celsius. We had rain yesterday, but not torrential. No weather system, so maybe God's way to cleanse and make plants grow well. I know, Fortune. Don't they make an Acer computer at Subic Bay? I wouldn't know if that's still around, man. It's like I would have to check. Some of those factories here in the Philippines. I don't know if they're still since they're here. I know there was like at one time there's like Intel, Acer, Toshiba, but I don't keep up with like if they are still here in the Philippines. Daniel, Apple offers 10% off online for military folks. All right. Fortune, Jason Potter, JP, hello, Daniel, Blues. They do Acer and Subic, but that's not top of the line brand for Pinoys. Yeah, it's not Acer. Kind of like Filipinos don't really look at that as like the big brand, like top of the line brand for Filipinos. Going to SeaTac to Seoul. Yep, Seoul, Cebu, then Katiklan. Good AM, Daniel. I bought toaster from Amazon to toast my Pop-Tarts. All right, man, I have not had a Pop-Tart in many years, Tim. I have not, I do know they got Pop-Tarts at SNR, but I haven't bought it. I would get from SNR. Toaster caught fire. So yeah, buy your appliances in the PH. I know, right? It's like you don't want to be, you don't want your Pop-Tarts burning. You don't want your Pop-Tarts burning. Hello, JP, Ford, Belus, David, boy. The only electronics you need is a karaoke, right? That's kind of like a must in a Filipino home. I cannot think of a Filipino home here in the Philippines that doesn't have karaoke. I have not met anybody that doesn't have karaoke here. All the Filipino houses I've been here, they got karaoke, man. Sorry, friends, have to go. All right, bring Maggie. All right, take care, Fortune. Enjoy today. Have a good day, Fortune. But less than 2 hours. I know, that's big if you drive around Manila, if you're going from like South Luzon Expressway, North Luzon Expressway, a lot of tolls. You got to pay a lot of tolls on the Skyway and then the expressways. Good morning, James. Good morning, James and Karen. All right. I saw your video, man, you know, that you did on the fireworks in Calibo. So you were by the near the police station. I was like, man, I got into like where the near the stage, but man, I couldn't walk after I got in there, man. It's just like jam packed, and I'm sure it was the same for you. You couldn't get in. You couldn't get into, like, there were so many people at Pastrana Park, but I was able to film the fireworks. That was the video I did last night. I got more of the fire. Dazzle and them, they were actually by the restaurant Platito near you guys, near where you were. You know, I was the only one that braved that crowd, man, because it was packed in there, man. It was like shoulder to shoulder with people, man, inside inside the Pastrana Park. It was so crowded, man, so crowded at Pastrana. Loophole, buying food just farm. I know, right? You know, you can save money, man. You can save money if you're farming. You know, you get your own food. You make your own food. Farm to table, farm to table. Morning, GP and all. Light overcast late. Views were out at daylight. Gino is gonna be my therapist. You're gonna be my therapist. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can be a good therapist, man. Everyone says to avoid Manila at all costs. Yes, avoid Manila at all costs. It's like one of the worst airport that I've been in. And I've traveled, you know, I was in the military, man, so I traveled all over the world. And Manila's got to be like in the top as like the most horrible airport that you're. I mean, they got stuff going on in Manila, man. You go through Manila airport, sometimes the AC don't work. You know, it's like, you know, it's like an oven in there. Sometimes they had the issues with like that. I don't know if you've heard about lag bala. They put a bullet in your suitcase, so everybody was wrapping their luggage, their backpack in like saran wrap, so people can't put a bullet in your luggage. When it gets to X-ray, they go, "Oh, you got a bullet in the leg." So many crazy things, and then just not a good airport. Not a good airport. Avoid Manila at all costs, man. I do not like flying into Manila. When I go to Luzon, I try to fly to Clark in Angeles City. I avoid Manila, man. And I was born and raised in Manila, man. I grew up in Manila, but not a place that I like to visit anymore. If I don't see Manila the rest of my life, I'm not missing anything. I'm not missing anything, man. Good morning, James and Karen. JB. Good AM, James and Karen from Fortune. Delegate blue, delegate no climbing. Jason Potter. Blue, delegate no climbing. Your plan is to stay in the province. Skip Manila. Yep, skip Manila. You can go to Cebu, Iloilo. Yep. Definitely, man. You can avoid Manila, you know, if you come to the Philippines. You don't, you know, between Angeles City, Clark, and between Cebu, those places, you can fly in directly from abroad. Many flights coming into those to the Philippines that land from Korea, from China, from Taiwan. They'll land directly to Angeles City, to Cebu City, to Iloilo City. So you can totally avoid Manila. And then even if you need to leave, you know, Panay Island, there's direct flights now to go to many Southeast Asian countries from Iloilo City. So you don't have to worry. You don't have to fly through Manila anymore. Should avoid Manila, in my opinion. Yep. I think that's everybody, right? That's everybody, Ted. I don't think anybody wants to fly to Manila, man. It's just like not a good place to land for a soft landing in the Philippines. It's just a bad experience right away when you land. A lot of flights from Manila are delayed. Even domestic flights get delayed here because the traffic congestion is the problem they have in the airport there. I've flown out of Manila before where they board us in the plane, that we're on the tarmac and we're in line at the tarmac to leave. I've been sitting in the airport on the runway, sitting on the runway for like 2 hours just sitting there because they have traffic of the amount of planes leaving Manila, so that's why they're building the mega airport right now in Bulacan, I would say about an hour away, depending on traffic, of course, from Manila Airport. There's a new mega billion-dollar airport that they're building in Bulacan. So I can believe the biggest airport in the Philippines. So to decongest Manila, hopefully, Manila Airport, hopefully, but it's still in the works. It's on Filipino time. That new airport is on Filipino time. So it might be a while. Before. Please like and subscribe. Thank you, Jason Potter. Thank you, brother. Hey, Luz Beltran. Luz, what's up? Listening in. So cold, Charleston, South Carolina. I know many people are like messaging me, like I'm getting like texts on my phone. Man, it's like 15 degrees here. It's 20 degrees below, wind chill. I'm like, whoo, man, it's like, here, I can show you. Even though it's cloudy this morning, I can show you real quick. It's still not sunny, but I'm just wearing a t-shirt, man. I'm wearing shorts. Oh, it did have light rain. It did have a light rain here because my car is wet, so it did light rain. No rain right now. I don't see any rain. The sun did come up earlier, but now I don't see the sun. Little breezy, cooler. It's actually cooler out here. It's not hot out here. Little breezy. Nice day. It's gonna be a nice day. Hopefully the sun will come back out here. All right, adjust that. Belus, morning, J and K. All right, James and Karen from James and Karen's Adventure. I can't wait on James. See, now the sun's coming up. See, now it's trying to like the sun's trying to come out. James just wants to like ride that motorbike everywhere, man. He's always so excited to ride his motorbike. I can't blame him, man. That's like an awesome motorbike. Dual sport. I saw he made a video. He recommends it's like one of the best bikes for road bike, also like for like off-road. I am rewatching Leanna's graduation while playing this. I didn't notice how many pretty moms were there. The first time I watched, how did I miss them before? Hey, man, those graduations, when here in the Philippines and JP, graduation, and the one thing I noticed here too, JP, church. I know, not everybody goes to church. I know, I understand that, but if you want to see like women like nicely dressed, church. When you go to church here, man, it's like people like dress up for church here on Sunday. Belus, James and Karen did not make it to late. I know, they did. They got because of the typhoon. They had a typhoon, but they made the most of it. They went to Rhea and Roy in La Castañeda in Negros Island. So they had fun anyway. James can have fun anywhere. That's the one thing. He's like flexible. He can do. It doesn't. If one plan doesn't work, go to plan B. If plan B don't work, go to plan C. That's the best way anyway. For me, I'm the same way. I really don't do a lot of planning. I just kind of go with the flow. I've just learned that that's the best way to enjoy life. When you plan too much, you plan this, you plan that, something always happens. It doesn't work out, but when you're just going with the flow, just take as life brings, whatever brings to you, you can enjoy your life better, I think. They could be single moms. Many single moms. There are a lot of single moms here, that's for sure. JP, you're getting excited. I feel like you are opening up to new experiences and new people, I think. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a totally different life for for JP here, because I hear that a lot from Edgar. You know, Edgar and I we become brothers. We talk all the time. Edgar told me before he left when he was in the U.S. You know, living in the U.S. He was pretty much like an introvert, kept to himself. He was a truck driver for many years. Edgar drove like semi trucks, gasoline tanks, you know. So he's on the road a lot of times by himself. And he told himself before he came here, he told me that he was going to change the way he is. He was going to be open to meeting people and making friends. And he's done that, man. It's like Edgar's like a different person from the time he got here. It's like he's got friends now. He's finding a great life. I'm so happy for him. You know, it's like always brings me a smile when I see Edgar, because I can tell it's just there's a bounce in his step. Everything about him, I can tell he's having a good time here in the Philippines. And I know JP will see it once he meets Edgar. Edgar's got a great sense of humor. He is always kidding around, always giving people a hard time, but it's fun. It's all in fun. All in fun. Team Melker, Incheon is a great airport. They have a sleeping area up on the third floor. Great place to rest if you have long layover. Mine was 14. I've been there long time ago, back in the 80s, Incheon Airport. But I love Korea. But Korea's changed so much. You know, I was stationed in Korea in the 80s, in the 1980s, and the growth of Korea has just been insane, because the base I used to be stationed at, Suwon Air Base, it was a Korean base. I look at videos online now of Suwon City, and I'm like, wow, there's a city now. You know, before that was mostly like rice fields back in the day. And Gino, I think your mayor is with the Mayors for Good Governance group. I'm sure, man. I mean, he's a great. I mean, he has done so much for the town of Calibo. You know, it's like a great mayor. Good things for Calibo, for our area. I mean, he's done a lot. I mean, the capital area. I filmed it because I was surprised, man. The area by the Capitol where the governor sits. It used to be, I used to play tennis there. There's two tennis courts there. They removed the tennis courts, so no more tennis courts. But now they made it into like a kids' playground. It's like lots of kids playing there. So, you know, you can't beat that. You know, more places for kids to play. That would be great, Bon. Daniels, hello. If he is, I'm sure, man, he's like very active. I saw him the other day. He was playing. They have a video. He was playing pickleball. He was playing pickleball. Colas from Becoming Filipino. Colas and our mayor are good friends, because Colas has been here for opening salvo at Atiatihan in January, and I know for sure Colas will be back here again for Atiatihan. Him and our mayor are friends. You can tell they're friends. They hang out. You know, they're playing pickleball together. You know. Heads up to those moving overseas. You may want to store up on razor cartridges and Oral-B replacement heads. They seem hard to find, pretty costly. All right. Yeah, there's just things, man. There's just things that, of course, if it's an item that you're used to in the US, you know, bring it with you, because you might have a hard time finding them here. Good morning, Vaughn. Team Melker is spot on with the stock on your razor cartridges. If you like stick deodorant, that's hard to find also. Oh, wow. Me, I use the liquid. I use like the local liquid roll-on. Local liquid roll. You know, pretty much I use everything local. You know, I don't have a... That's why I even drink coffee, that 3-in-1, man. I don't even brew coffee. I don't buy cans of Folgers or anything, because, you know, that was the thing. I made sure when I moved to the Philippines, I was gonna use whatever they got here. You know, it's like I'm not gonna be the person like looking for everything American, because it'll be costly here. You know, it wouldn't be in line with my frugal living. Good morning, Colonel. Good morning, everyone. Belus, Sergeant, yes. Load up coffee with Gino in the morning, all the way, all the way. All right, hey, and I did have a topic. I'm trying to get through this. I'm trying to get through these comments, man. I just can't get to the bottom, but I didn't want to like not do a topic because I always try to do a topic. I know Belus, that he loves my topic, and this is I think this is like recently. This is the third topic that I've done on money issues here in the Philippines. That seems to be like a topic of discussion by many here. Money. That's kind of like important, right? Money issues. The one thing I noticed, like I said, I belong to many expat groups. And the first thing I always see there, they're always like announcing how much money they have. That is called, I'm like, dude, those kind of things, you kind of want to keep that private. Want to keep, they will say things, like, I got $50,000 in the bank. My pension is $3,000 a month. It's not going to be enough in the Philippines. I'm like, man, I don't think if it's a good idea to be announcing anything financial. I never, I'm retired Master Sergeant E7 in the military, but I will never tell you how much my pension is. You can Google it, but I will never announce how much. To me, it's not only like Filipinos, it's not only like not a good thing about discussing anything financial, or especially announcing it online. To me, it's just, those things I think you should keep private. It's like you might become a target. You heard there's a lot of scams here. There are Filipinas that are after money here. There's people that are after money. So to me, those kind of topics, I wouldn't discuss. Keep your finances private. Don't especially online. Don't discuss your finances online. One of the things, like once you meet a Filipina here, have a girlfriend, that's usually the first step, right? Girlfriend first before marriage. Hopefully you're not in a rush to get to that marriage. Hopefully it's just girlfriend. One of the things that you will experience here, guaranteed, you're going to experience this with your Filipina girlfriend. Your girlfriend, other Filipinas will be asking your girlfriend, how much is his pension? How much money is he making? With the Filipina foreigner dynamic, somebody will always ask your girlfriend that. Here in the Philippines, we call it marites. Marites. There are just people that are marites. Marites are like, I guess you can say, nosy people, right? To me, it's like none of their business, but there are plenty of marites here. Marites is very popular here. It's not like, I've never heard about Karen in the US, but here, it's marites is that nosy person that wants to get in everybody's business. It's like, so that's going to be a dynamic that you will see once you have a Filipina girlfriend. Your girlfriend is going to be asked how much money does your foreigner boyfriend makes, or how much money does he give you, right? Or if the foreigner buys a home, buys land, how much did he pay for the home? Or how much did the build of the house cost? People here, they get real specific. And to me, I know that's not a dynamic in the US. You don't ask those questions, right? It's like, how much money I make, or did I buy my house here? Did I pay cash for my house? The car that I bought, did I pay cash for my car? That's not conversations that Americans, I've never been asked that in the US. People, their finances, that's private. I've sat with people at work in the United States where I don't even know what my coworker makes, right? When I negotiate salary with my boss, when I get hired at the interview, my boss discusses my salary, but my salary of my coworkers, I do not know. Here in the Philippines, man, they ask the most private questions here, specifically with money. They really ask you. And then the other question that guaranteed that a marites here in the Philippines will ask your Filipina girlfriend, Are you gonna have kids with him? You know, they ask stuff like that. I'm like, what is it your business? Like, what the foreigner and the Filipina will do, especially once you get married. You know, your girlfriend is gonna get, because a lot of times when you get married here, it's an older foreigner, a younger Filipina. So the younger Filipina, when are you gonna have kids? How come you don't have any kids? People, the Marites will be asking that, so be ready for those kind of, I know it's gonna, like, for us, for Americans, for foreigners, you're gonna look at those people like, how come they're asking these questions? It's like inappropriate, very inappropriate questions, but they do that here. Be ready for that. Anything to do with money, it's like, it's funny how they're so interested in that. How much money the foreigner has. I don't know if they're trying to, like, get information, or like, maybe someday they'll use it to borrow money from you. I don't know, but they will ask that. Dazzle's been asked that. I've been asked that, and when I get asked, I just look at them like, I don't discuss that information. I keep that information private, and that kind of puts off people when you say that, because here, I guess they just do it naturally. Like, they ask people how much money people make, how much they earn every month, and all that. But to me, keep that private. No need to discuss your finances with anybody here, especially not a Marites. The Marites here, they're gonna announce it to everybody. Whatever the Marites gets that information from your girlfriend, from you, that Marites, we're gonna announce it to the rest of the neighborhood. It's like, you don't know, avoid the Marites at all costs. Not gonna be good for your relationship here. That Sergeant, but you can decent razors. Watson here, not pricey. Yeah, I don't shave much. It's like, hair doesn't really grow on my face. I do shave maybe every 3 days. I do buy the disposable. I have the disposable at Watson's. Whatever bargain, whatever cheap razors, the disposable ones. But I do know, the people that grow a lot of hair, they got to get their beard trimmed. They got to, they want good cartridges. And I understand. But they do have barbers here in the Philippines. They will shave you here. I have seen that when I've gotten a haircut. It looks like a switchblade. They'll open it, and they even, like, have a leather where they, like, sharpened it a little bit, and they do like shave you here. Put that cream on your face, a shaving cream, and they'll shave you if you want to. I know that could be like that could be a hazard in the U.S. I mean, I'm sure, I don't know if you can still get a razor with a real razor shave in the U.S. That'd be like, man, there might be liability issues if they cut you or something like that. Here in the Philippines, they still do that. You can get a shave at the barber here. Hi, Gino. Good AM, Colonel from Fortune. JP, Team Milker. My Incheon layover, only 4 hours. Oh, that's nothing. 4 hours is nothing. That'll be man, by the time you deboard, chill a little bit, you'll be back on the plane. How long does it take to transfer international? That should be plenty of time. 4 hours is plenty of time. You'll even have time to, like, get something to eat, or coffee, or beer, or whatever, man. Anyone moving to Aklan and looking for a general doctor, I recommend Dr. Portes. Dr. Portes, internal medicine. He's a Filipino doctor who trained in the U.S. Best doctor around, in my opinion. Very smart. All right, let me take a picture of that. I think you have sent me his name before, but I want to take a picture of that, man. That way I save the name. Dr. Portes. And a lot of the doctors here in Aklan, a lot of these doctors, they go to, like, all the hospitals here. Like, for Dr. Portes, I'm sure he does a clinic at Asia Pacific, St. Gabriel Hospital, and Panay Hospital. A lot of the doctors, they make their rounds at the different hospitals here. Always good to find a good doctor, right? To me, I have 2 doctors, so I'm good. I got an oncologist and I have an endocrinologist. 2 specialists that I have at Asia Pacific Medical Center. I have a super coarse beard, and even the best razor only lasts me. I know, right? That's what I'm saying. I understand, man. I understand. His office at St. Gabriel Hospital, bottom floor. All right, thank you, Tim. Thank you. Thanks for that tip, man. There's a direct flight from Cebu to Denver, 54 minutes to Wyoming. It's long, but so worth it if you're Midwest United. By 2 months in advance. All right, Baluz, thank you for that tip, man. That's a pro tip right there. That's a pro tip. Direct, man, direct from Cebu to Denver on United. Man, that is like a long flight, but a direct, those layovers when you fly, those layovers, if you got, several stop, that kind of wears on you. I'd rather fly, if I can fly direct, I fly direct. When I used to fly still, I haven't flown in many, many years, but I used to fly like direct from Manila to Los Angeles. One of these days, we should be heading down to Jacksonville to hit up Max and Jollibee. Daniel, all right, Max and Jollibee. Oh, I didn't know that they have I know Jollibee's becoming popular in the United States, but Max, I'm surprised actually that they have a Max. Max restaurant is like a fried chicken. It's like a good it's fried chicken without the breading. It's like Filipino style fried chicken. It's like, doesn't have the breading on the outside. Really good chicken. Very famous here, a big franchise here, Max, known for their fried chicken. Incheon is efficient, JP. Belus, Cebu to Denver, oh my. How long is that flight? I mean, I know, right? That's a long flight. Did you do your morning walk to 7-Eleven? Not today. I did have my French vanilla brewed coffee last night, during the opening of lights in Numancia, because I was like, I go to bed at 8 p.m. So like around 9:30 last night, I was like, man, I'm dragging, man. So I hit the 7-Eleven because they have another 7-Eleven. There's this 7-Eleven, one outside our subdivision and one by the plaza, by Numancia Plaza. So after the coffee, I was good. I was good to go after the coffee. Smash the like. All right, Veluz. Thank you, Veluz. Howdy, Colonel Ted Burnbull. Just be aware when you hook up with a single mom, you will always be number 2. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Because the kids, the single mom's kids. Hello, Colonel Bond. All right, Bond. Still haven't made it to Jollibee? Yeah, you'll get plenty of Jollibee here in Calibo, man, Daniel. So don't worry if you don't make it to Jollibee. Be there. We got see how many? 1, 2, 3. We got 4. We got 4 Jollibees in Calibo, man. So not a problem with Jollibee. Jollibee is like the number 1 fast food here in the Philippines. Just in Calibo alone, man, 4 Jollibees here. You've been to Max, Daniel? Probably not. I bet you he hasn't been to Max. Max, very few foreigners, even here, know about Max. Everybody knows about Jollibee, but Max fried chicken, and they have more than just Max. They got Filipino food at Max. I know my friend, I took him from Hawaii. I took him to Max, and he had chop suey even. Chop suey at Max. Good morning, brother from another. Hey, Castaway Drift. All right, my good friend Michael and Che in Dumaguete City. All right, good morning. Yes, coffee time for sure. You are never going to get to your topic, Gino. I finally squeezed it in there, man. Just kidding. Hey, I was able to squeeze it in. Now I gotta get through the comments again, man. My bosses always told me to discuss much your make cost. I know, right? To me, Derek, that's the thing, right? Because there's really no good about it that can come out, because Filipinos too, when you talk about money, the locals anyway, they're gonna look at you like maybe you're boasting, like you're showing off how much money you have. So never discuss money here, man. Plus, why would you want people know how much money you make every month? Here in the Philippines, man, you might end up becoming a target. For sure, you're gonna end up being like, hey, can I borrow money? That's gonna be the next step. If they find out how much money you bring in every month, next thing you know, and that's always here anyway. People are gonna be like, always like, there's always going to be people that's going to be borrowing money from you here. I still get that today, but now when I get somebody like people that I haven't heard sometimes for a couple of years. I get a text message, hey Kuya Gino, we got this emergency, blah blah blah, whatever story they tell you, and the ending is like, can I borrow money? And I always tell them now, my standard answer is like, I do not lend any money anymore. I've lost so much money here in the Philippines lending people, not just the money that I lost, but the headache of like, you become the bad guy when the person, I've even gotten comments from people that owe me money and they say, why, you think I'm not going to pay you back? Kind of thing. It's like, dude, it's like, you weren't like that when you were borrowing the money. You were like all desperate, all sad story. But now I do not lend any money. There are people that I really care for when they ask for money. Like if they want to borrow money, I just give them money. If they're trying to borrow 20,000 pesos from me, I may give them 1,000. I'll tell them, hey, this is 1,000, my donation. You don't have to pay me. That way, if I want to like keep the relationship because I like them. But for the most part now, I just tell them, I don't lend money. I'm tired of people not paying me back. That's my standard statement now. JP, thanks, Vaughn. I have watched a few videos on Incheon. It looks nice. I want to eat there. Something Korean. All right, something Korean. You might not have time to eat Korean barbecue. Usually it's good, but let me see. Bulgogi, man. Just eat bulgogi. Eat bulgogi and rice. It's a beef, marinated beef, usually marinated heavy on soy sauce and garlic. Really good. Tender beef and rice. And then a side of kimchi. That's Korean enough. I'm sure they'll have that at Incheon. Like get a bulgogi, Bulgogi. One of my favorite food that I used to eat in Korea was bulgogi. Marites equals chismosa. Yeah, a gossip person, marites. And they're everywhere in the Philippines. You cannot go anywhere here in the Philippines without marites. Unfortunately, there are Dazzle, she just knows. Like the minute she notices a person is marites, she kind of eases out. We kind of like, we distance ourselves from people that are marites here. What would be the best answer if your Filipina is asked about money questions? In the beginning, Dazzle was uncomfortable with that too, because and I had to, in the beginning, I had to like tell Dazzle, babe, don't discuss our money with anybody here in the Philippines. And she's learned. She made the mistake too in the beginning. So for me, the minute you're like dating a Filipina, JP, make the ground rules. Whatever we discuss, especially about money, between the two of us. Don't discuss it with your parents, relatives, nobody. Nobody needs to know how much, and for me, the safe way for not anybody not to know, keep that from your girlfriend in the beginning. Don't let your girlfriend find out how much money you make. She doesn't need to know anyway. In the beginning of a relationship, you're still trying to get to know each other. Now, once you start talking about marriage and making the relationship permanent, then you can open up about your finances. But I would keep your finances, JP, close to your heart. It's like, or maybe even give like a way low number. That way, the interest is not about your money. It's not about your money with the Filipina here. You don't need the fastest internet service if you have right, man. We have a few here in the neighborhood here, man. We know who the marites here at Camellia Aklan are because you see them walking around. You see them walking around here, like talking to one neighbor, talking to one. They're always standing by like the street, even talking, like a group of them. Like if you see like 3 or 4 women like group on the street here, it's marites. That's marites, man. They're maritesing. Kalibo, just tell them you have a small pension. Yes, right? Phil, that's perfect. Do not divulge that information. Tell them I'm a frugal person. They might call you koripot. I've been called koripot before. Koripot is like frugal, somebody that doesn't like to spend a lot of money. But like, I'd rather be called koripot. I'd rather be called frugal than like people like, give me money, borrow money. I need to borrow money. Make sure like it's better off that you tell them that you don't have money than for them to know that you have money. Good morning, bro, Michael. Hey, Michael C, my good friend, Entrese Martires. Hey, man, I'll see you in Boracay, man. Michael, he booked at the Astoria in Boracay in February, so I'm going to get to see Michael again and Rose. Looking forward to hanging out again, my brother. Some vloggers have made videos about what retired military make and repeatedly use us, veterans' income, for clicks. Yet, he has never served one day. Oh, that's terrible. For me, I would never discuss how much money I make. Like I said, I'm retired Master Sergeant, retired E7 in the military. You can Google it, but you will never hear from me how much money I make. Just be frank. If she can't live within your means, then red flag. Yeah, red flag. To me, your girlfriend, the minute they start asking about money, when you're still on the girlfriend stage, that could be a little bit of red flag as it is. To me, it's like, that discussion about money, about having kids, about how much I would be willing to help your parents someday. Usually those conversations, that's like pre-marriage conversations. When you're in the getting to know phase, you're like girlfriend, boyfriend, that's too early. That's too early, man. To me, at least that's down the road. That's like dating like 6 months to a year. Then you start talking about, if you're starting to talk about plans for the future, like if this is the possible love of your life, the possible candidate to be your wife, then you can start to have those conversations. But you just got to tell your lady that, hey, this is between us. You can't be sharing this information with other people, because believe me, the Filipinas here, the Filipina friends of your girlfriend, they're gonna get on her ear. They're gonna get on her ear, start saying, "Oh, that's the only money he gives you? My boyfriend gives me more. My boyfriend gives me twice as much as your boy." That kind of thing. That's why never a good thing to like discuss money thing, unless unless that's gonna be your woman, that's gonna be the woman you're gonna be marrying. Then you can start discussing finances and all that. But make sure your Filipina knows, hey, this is between us. Can't be sharing this with other people. Nothing good can come out of it if your Filipina starts sharing your finances with other people. Morning Fortune, church brings out the better woman. I know, right? And I think I've said that many times, Fortune. If you want like a good woman, usually they're church women, province church women. Good combo. I know not everybody goes to church, and to me, if you don't belong to church or anything, it doesn't hurt to just like check it out. I mean, you don't got to get baptized and all that. I mean, just check out the church. Just tell me, I'm kind of interested in what I'm seeing here, right? It's like. But if you do belong to church, if you have a church, like I have a friend, he's coming here to the Philippines. He's an LDS, Latter-day Saints. So he's already checked here in the province, many LDS here. So he already checked on like congregations that when he lands in Panay Island, he's going to go join the congregation. And he's not going to have a problem meeting girls there, meeting women there. Good church women there. Good AM, Michael S. AI, all right, thumbs up. AI, Amazon has my razors, $37 for 50. Ooh, that's a lot of razors, man. Man, you're gonna be ready. You don't need to buy any razors for a while. And I'm sure you'll find, if it's disposable razors, JP, you'll find them here. They got plenty of different brands here too. Even like Gillette, they got Gillette brand here. They got the same American brands. My beard may break his razor blade. But I think you can get, I've seen them, Daniel, when the barber shop, when you get a haircut here, they do trim they cut your beard, they get it almost like that way you don't have to shave as much, They use they use scissors, man. They're pretty good at like, you can ask Fortune, man. Like even me, when I get a haircut, I like my high and tight. The guy always use scissors on top of my head. He like put his hands and like, really fast too, like. I mean, I'm like, wow, it's like, but they're expert. They're expert here with scissors and razor blades to like shave you. They know how to shave here. If you're, we have Jerry. Oh yeah, Jerry's Grill in the U.S. had one here in Panglao too. I was surprised you have one there. Yeah, we do. There's two Jerry's Grill in Boracay Island. Dazzle, we like. They have baby squid at Jerry's Grill. When they have that, we always order the baby squid with the ink and everything. It's delicious, like really tender baby squid. And then I like the dinakdakan. Dinakdakan is like a dish, kind of like appetizer. Those are the two things that I always get at Jerry's Grill. Don't ever answer from people you know and have not heard. So many now messaging you exactly like this. Only this, kumusta. I know, right? The minute you see kumusta and you haven't heard that person, oh, this person's borrowing money. This person's going to be borrowing money. They can borrow. I know, man. I mean, I think we've all, for me, I get it more because I'm on YouTube. People think that you got money when you're on YouTube. I'm like, dude, I don't got money, man. But that so happens. I'll get a message. A person I haven't heard from like 2-3 years. Person I went to college at STI College Calibo, and they go, "Kumusta, kuya?" And then, and this person's gonna be borrowing money. JP, I just thought of have her tell them my pension is small. We live on rice and love. Hey, that's a good one. That's a good one, man. When loaning money here, you should always just consider it just a donation. That's the way I look at it now, Ted. That's why if somebody's trying to, if I like the person, I've been good friends with the person, and they're needing, like, let's say they want to borrow 10,000 pesos, I just give them 1,000, and I tell them, hey, dude, keep it, man. It's just my help, But it's like if I do like the person, I want to keep the relationship. But a lot of times, if I really, it's like, I don't really know the person well and they're borrowing money. If they don't ever talk to me again, and that's happened, right, Ted? The minute you like tell somebody they can't borrow money, I have nothing for you to, they won't ever talk to you. They might even unfriend you on Facebook. Doesn't hurt my feelings. Doesn't hurt my feelings. 100. Well-trained says 100. For sure, Ted. For sure. Gossip Queens rule the day. Gossip Queens rule the day. Wow, Brewmeister, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Brewmeister. Wow, that's incredible. Thank you so much. That's like our early Christmas present for us here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me see if I can put a heart on that. I can put a heart on it. I have too many relatives in the Philippines to give money. I lost count of how many times I've received FB friend requests. I know, right? You can imagine with me, man, because, I have relatives in Manila. I have relatives in Bulacan province. I was born and raised in the Philippines. So, and then when I went to college, all the college people, 4 years of college, I had all these classmates, batchmates, and they all call me kuya. I was everybody's kuya. So unfortunately, I get a lot of requests when people get in the bind. And that's the thing. I mean, you feel bad for them. You feel bad for people because I know a lot of people here, they don't have medical insurance, an emergency or an admittance to the hospital here. They don't have the cash. They don't have the cash to like pay a hospital visit or admittance to a hospital. So I understand, but there's only so much you can help. It's like my priorities, my family, Dazzle, Leanna, mom, and the nephews in Katiklan, sister, brother, that's my immediate families. I help enough people in the immediate family. As you can see, mom lives with us, my mother-in-law lives with us, my sister-in-law lives with us. I help enough, to where, I gotta rein it in. There's a limit, there's a limit. There has to be, I can't afford to help like everybody. Emilio, good morning, Gino. Good morning, Emilio. Unless I really know the person, I never talk about my exact rent or years in service. Yes, right. Some information you got to keep to yourself. To me, it doesn't hurt. Like if you keep, especially regarding your pension, your monthly pension, how much you make a month, I don't think it's none of anybody's business. You can keep that to yourself. Nobody needs to know here. It doesn't benefit you if you give the information out and they find out how much money you make. I don't see any benefit. I don't see any benefit if they find out that your pension is $2,000 or $3,000. What benefit is to you that people know that here? To me, that you need to keep that information private. Unfortunately, most foreigners fall into the trap of doing things that lead the Filipino to believe they are already married. Yeah. And that happens pretty fast here, right, Colonel? For the relationship here, I know this. I know this with foreigners here that meet a Filipina. The relationship here is not like in the U.S. Not what I remember when I was dating in the U.S., where the relationship in the U.S. takes time. Dating takes 1 year, 2 years, many times before you get to the marriage stage. Here in the Philippines, what I've seen, it happens fast. I have seen people that meet somebody, they're in the US, Canada, or whatever, meet somebody online. They fly in here to the Philippines, meet the Filipina for the first time in person. They've only been video chatting or whatever. Next thing you know, 30 days later, they're already married. They're already like living together. You're married, or even like when foreigners meet a Filipina here, the movement from dating to becoming boyfriend, girlfriend to like marriage, it happens fast here. It's like I've seen people here that like, oh, I thought you guys were just dating. Next thing I know, in like less than 6 months, they're already married. People are just in a hurry. To me, that's not something you want to rush into. You want to get to know your Filipina. You want to really get to know your Filipina's family, because I know many expats will tell you this, that, oh, I don't give money to my Filipina's family or whatever, but that's not going to be good for your relationship. Just my opinion. Your Filipina and her family is a big piece of your Filipina's life. If you don't help her family, that can cause you issues down the road. Just my opinion. To me, the better relationship is like my relationship with mom. I call her mom because I really treat her like my mom. I'm older than my mom here, my mother-in-law, but I treat her like my mom because I have respect for her. She raised Liana. She raised Dazzle, to become a good person, a religious person, a good person. It's not easy to do that here in the Philippines, to raise kids here, to make them a good person here. There's so much temptation here with drugs, with teenage pregnancy, so many negative things here. For mom to have raised 5 kids pretty much by herself, and they're all good people, man, it tells me a lot. And those are the kind of things that you want to find out about your Filipina. When you meet your Filipina, meet her family, see the dynamic in her family, see if they're good people. I'm sure you're gonna see red flags right away if there's an issue, because not all families work the same dynamic here. There are unfortunately, there's like parents of Filipinas that you will meet here. They're interested about the money. It's like, how much money are you gonna give us, kind of thing, if you marry our daughter. That exists here. So don't be in a rush to get married here. What's the rush? It's like a lot of times, the foreigners that I meet here, a lot of times they've been married before, they've been divorced before. So to me, there shouldn't be a rush to get married. Hey, all right, Ivan. Good morning, Ivan. Good to see you, my brother. Glad you can make the live stream, brother. It was nice seeing you at SNR. With the Colonel. The Colonel's right on top, right there. Colonel and Ivan, we all hanged out. We had lunch at SNR when we were in Iloilo. So always great to see you, my brother. It's like Ivan's one of the guys that he's my brother. He's my, anytime I'm in Iloilo City, it's always a stop for Dazzle and I to see Ivan, his wife, and 2 kids. That's a must stop for Dazzle and I. They've become part of our family. official channel said hi. Gustav. Hey, Gustav. All right. Gustavo, you miss. Oh, man. It's not Gustav. There's no Gustav. It's Gustavo, brother. I decide what he deserves. No one else. That's Gustavo Fring, baby. Belus, man. Here way too fast. 2 years. Please, before marry up. May save you. May save you for. I know, right? I know, Belus. And I know you've seen it too, Belus. You know, you've been here enough to, you've seen expats here. You know, it's like, get married so fast. First Filipina they meet, a few months later they're already married. It's like a kind of test the waters, man. Meet a few Filipinas before you decide, and don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry to get married. Once you're married here, man, they got you on lockdown. They got you on lockdown once you're married. Daniel, once you allow someone to borrow, it's others will. Oh yeah, for sure. That will happen. That was my mistake when I was in college. I attended STI College Calibo, and a lot of my classmates, man, kuya, I can't pay my tuition. My parents don't have the money. And, I feel bad because, I have the money. I can help them. So I have helped them with their tuition. And next thing you know, they're like, they won't pay you back. They're not your friends anymore. They're trying to avoid you. So not a good situation. For those much older, military pension, TSP, investments, Social Security, live in the top 1%. Oh, I've seen it, Beltran. I've seen it. Like, I have friends, that live here, that got a house here in Aklan. They're military retired. They got 100% disability from the BI. Federal employee, a retirement federal, then Social Security. Yeah, we got 4 retirements here. So yes, they can live like the top 1% here in the Philippines. Liam, maybe I should bring a rubber mallet so Sheriff Dazzle can straighten me out if I decide to get married. Well, nothing wrong with getting married, JP. It's like nothing wrong. But to me, take your time. Make sure, at least put like a number in your head, maybe 2 years before you get married, before you settle with a Filipina. That way, don't break your rule. Don't fall in love all of a sudden. Next thing I know, it's like, I'm engaged, then it's like you're engaged already, Take your time. Old foreigners only have a short time. They want to get her done. All right. Hey, I understand. Hey, and there's a lot of it so true, right, Phil? I understand. A lot of the old foreigners that come here, they're in the 4th quarter of their life. They don't know how much time they got left. So maybe that's the rush. But make sure you vet your Filipina. Make sure you know your Filipina, the Filipina's mom, dad, siblings. Make sure you meet everybody. At least meet everybody. Stay with them like a week or so, see the dynamic in the family, because you can kind of tell a lot of the family dynamic when are there church going people, or what is the talk that they talk about when you're sitting at the dinner table, or you're just relaxing watching TV. What kind of conversations are being talked about? Is it about money all the time? That's usually a red flag. If it's about money all the time, that's not a good thing. Yes, Ivan and his family are good. I know, right, Colonel? I'm glad you got to meet Ivan and his family from Canada. They're awesome, man. That they're already part of Dazzle Nice family. We don't go to Iloilo City, like I said, Colonel. And every time we went to Iloilo City, we make time for them, because I've just always had a good vibe with Ivan. I can remember when he was still in Canada, we would video chat, and he would ask me, Gino, what you think about if we move to Iloilo City? So I've been through like the whole journey with them, and now they've been in Iloilo City now since May. Their 7-year-old goes to school at Ateneo de Iloilo. So he's building a great life, and I'm so happy for them. He shares photos with me, like family photos. They go to the playground, they go to the beach. It's just like, I'm just so happy for Ivan. He's blessed. He's definitely blessed. Beautiful family, beautiful retirement here in the Philippines. Man, what more can you ask? I can help keep you straight. Keep you straight. Keep you straight. Hey, keep JP straight, Colonel. Keep him straight. Keep him straight. Hey, Brian, TextPad, my good friend in Galveston County. Hello, hello, TextPad. Nothing wrong with getting married, a Filipina, unless you're already married outside the Philippines. I've tried to slow guys down, Belus. It doesn't seem to work. It doesn't seem to work. Yeah, I know. I know. It's not love. It's not love. People fall in love. It's better to know to slow before you're walking into the fire. Help take words to heart. Yep. Take your time. To me, especially marriage, man, that's not something you want to rush into. It's like, if there's any doubt in your mind, even the proposal, I had a friend, even the proposal, he wanted me to help him. He wanted to do his proposal in Boracay. He wanted to be on the beach, with like, will you marry me and all that. And then he was having second thoughts about it. And I told him, dude, if you're having second thoughts, it's not a good proposal. A proposal to me is like you're 100% sure this is the woman that you want to spend the rest of your life with. The minute you have any like I'm not really sure, or you get nervous, it's like I would not propose. I would not propose. Colonel, I am not sure you wouldn't trick me into balut. Into balut, you trick you into balut. Colonel Blue, some of us are regular firewalkers. They like to you want to walk in the fire. Colonel likes, he wants the challenge, walking in that fire. All right, hey man, it is what it is, right, Colonel? If you like fire, man, if you like fire, Colonel, unfortunately, fire, you get burned. You get burned with fire, man. Lowell, I got to go, brother. All right. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your day. Take care. God bless, Lowell. God bless, my brother. All right. I got to the bottom. Again, Brewmeister, thank you so much. Brewmeister. We'll make good use. We'll make good use of your generous gift to us. For sure, something to do with the holidays. I'm sure maybe a Christmas Chinese ham. I might have to look for a Christmas Chinese ham in Calibo. For sure, at least queso de bola. Queso de bola is like a round piece of like hard cheddar cheese. Very popular during the holidays. It's wrapped in plastic, but it's wax even. There's a red wax over it. You remove the red wax, you cut the cheese and serve it with crackers, piece of ham, things like that. So definitely we'll make use of that money that you gifted us. Thank you so much, Brewmeister. Colonel Doug Firewalker. That's the Colonel's new nickname, Doug the Firewalker. The Firewalker. That's funny. With the burn comes a scar. For sure, right? Man, I got scar. I got this burn right here. I remember. I got burned. This is a long time ago. I was working at Wendy's, and I got burned by the cookie tray. The cookie tray, when they come out of the oven, we put it in a rack, and I rubbed my arm against it, and it burned. And I still got the scar to prove it. And so it does. It leaves a scar for sure. Max started in Quezon City when Max treated his friends, including America. Oh, wow. I didn't know it was that. I know Max has been around. I like Max Fortune. I also like that one restaurant in Manila back in the day by, I think, Ross Boulevard, Dewey Boulevard, Aristocrat, the original Aristocrat. I remember when I was a little kid, my mom, my relatives, we would always celebrate somebody's birthday at Aristocrat. And I know it's a franchise now because when Dazzle and I, when we went to the mall in Manila somewhere, we one time when we did my COVID vaccine, I did eat at Aristocrat. I said, wow, Aristocrat's here at the mall. So I do know Aristocrat. Kind of like same with Max, same thing with Max Fried Chicken. The original menu was chicken with dinner rolls. Rice was later. Oh, all right, all right. Kind of like KFC. Kind of like KFC. You know, KFC with the dinner rolls. Ivan, thank you, Colonel. All right, Ivan. Hey, man. Of course, the next time we're in Iloilo City, we'll come see you. Actually, Ivan even invited Dazzleite to stay at their house the next time we're. That's how Ivan's become part of Dazzle Nice family. They're so great people. It's always a blessing to me when I meet so many good people. That I think that's what the part that Dazzle and I enjoy the most is all the good people that we've met on our YouTube channel. Friends for life, definitely become part of our family. When I call you my brother from another, I really feel that. I won't call you a brother from another if I don't feel that. It's like. All right, I'm gonna end the live stream here. I got to the bottom. I got to the bottom of the comments. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining the live stream this morning. I appreciate your time. I know everybody's busy. Everybody's got holiday shopping, busy time of the year. So I really appreciate you giving me my time. Have a blessed day. Have a blessed day, Michael and Che in Dumaguete City. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. Thank you. All right, Jason. Take care, everyone. And everyone, please stay blessed. Stay blessed.